Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Oksana. Welcome to the family. Today we're going to be talking about employers, because the type of employer that you will be working for will define whether you will be comfortable at your workplace. I'll share what kind of employers you may meet in the Middle East and how to understand which one is right for you. Companies are kind of like people. You have people that you are instantly friends with, that you are very easy to get along with, and there are some people that just don't have your vibe and you don't feel comfortable around them. Same goes for the companies, and you need to find the one that will work for you. We will consider 3 factors that, in my opinion, have the most impact on how you will feel in the company, if it makes sense. So let's start with number 1. First factor is whether the company is new or already operating. New companies will be more dynamic in terms of work environment. There will be a lot of changes. They will be just establishing their structure, their rules. Everything's gonna be new. People are new. Everybody's trying to get used to each other. But at the same time, you have great opportunity to prove yourself during these turbulent times when company is just establishing its team. And if you stick with the company, you will have more chances to get promoted because you will know everything from bottom up. You will have all the information and you will be among those people who build the company. When it comes to already operating company, they will be more stable. Regardless of if their practice is good or bad, they will be already set in their ways and it will be hard to change. So on a plus side, it's going to be a stable environment. On a minus side, you'll have to deal with whatever you come into. So you will less be able to influence and maybe give feedback on what's happening. Also here, we can talk about whether the company is big or small. If we take, for example, standalone restaurant where the total number of employees is around 100 people, and then we take a 5-star hotel with hundreds of employees across the globe, then you understand that smaller companies, they are more flexible. They are way faster to introduce any changes. If there is something in the market that isn't working, they can pivot really fast. Where the big hotel chains or big international companies, the process of any innovations, of any change has to go through the whole structure throughout the world. So the decision process is way longer. It also reflects on day-to-day operation. Big international companies or already established companies, already working companies, they are more stable, but in the same time, they are more set in their ways and they're less freedom, let's say, where if you're working for a smaller company or for a new company, you may have better chances of proving yourself and making an input in the company. Factor number 2 that I think is important to consider when you're looking for potential employer is the level of the company. Again, when we're talking about hospitality, we have fine dining Michelin star restaurants on one side of the scale, and then we have a high-end restaurant which is a little bit lower but still very sophisticated. Then we have a casual dining, then we have all kind of fast food and coffee shops, cafeteria stuff, and so on. Of course, the expectations and the pressure for people who is working in fine dining restaurant or in Michelin star restaurant is way higher than for employees at lower level restaurants. Here you need to understand what kind of people, let's say, you want to work with. You want to work only with VIPs, or you want to work with people like you and have more freedom, less pressure. In fine dining restaurant, you cannot be in the mood. The price of the mistake in fine dining restaurant is higher than in casual dining. Same goes for any sphere actually. In each sphere, there are companies that are working in a lower segment. They will be maybe cheaper and more affordable. And there are companies that are working at top level with top clients, and you need to understand at what level, with what kind of pressure, with what kind of clients you want to work before you apply to one employer or the other. Factor number 3 is management style. In my opinion, this is the most important one. This is what you really should look out for, because the management style has to do a lot with company's values, and those have to do a lot with day-to-day operation, because company values, company goals, they influence every decision made in a company, including decision about employees. I'll give you a simple example so you understand what I'm talking about. So when COVID hit, there were some companies that closed down very quickly and that laid off all their staff and minimized their expenses. And there were companies who tried their best to keep as many employees as they could on a payroll for as long as they could. I understand that this is, of course, an absolutely force majeure situation, and there is no right or wrong. Every company has different resources. Every company has a lot of individual factors that factor in on this decision, but generally, there are companies that care a little bit more about their employees, and there are companies that care a little bit less about their employees. And you, of course, want to find a company that would care about its employees. I have a video on this, so I'll put the link somewhere here. But even during the interview process, when you go to different companies, you can see that different companies do the interviews differently. And you need to understand that the way they treat you during the interviews is most likely the way they will be treating you when you become the part of the team. So you need to find a company that you will be very comfortable with. I'm of course generalizing. There are a lot of different circumstances and factors and exceptions in all of this, but from my experience, this is what I see, and in our company, what I know that influence the day-to-day work most, and day-to-day work is what you're going to be doing and that you're going to be facing. So I think those factors are something that you have to keep in mind when you're choosing the company to work for. Please like this video, it means nothing to you, means world to me, and share if you liked it, subscribe, and I'll see you next week.